Hey guys, I want to talk to you about something kind of out of left field today. I don't know why I do this, but every once in a while I'll just think over my past relationships that I've been in, and I think about some of the women that I've crossed paths with in my life, and there's obviously a reason why they are women of the past and we're no longer together, and there's all sorts of different bits and pieces of things that I could think to share with you guys about, and I'll keep talking about those things as they come up. They cross my mind. But one of the things I was thinking about today is two girlfriends ago. I was with a girl for about 3 years, a couple years back, and needless to say, it didn't work out. It was a very difficult relationship. I don't know how the hell I stayed in for as long as I did, but one very big thing that I'll never forget about this woman was the way that she almost, it was like, I don't know if this was intentional. I don't think it was, but just the way that it was almost like she was trying to drive a wedge between me and my mother and the relationship that I had with my mother. And it was like one of the most difficult things to deal with. But the psychology of this girl that I was dating at the time was she had been through a lot in her life, and she was very troubled. She was dealing with a lot, and it's not an excuse, but it's just a little bit of a explanation, you might say, about why she thought the things she thought, and she needed attention in the manner she needed it. But it was very twisted. In her eyes, just the fact that I had a healthy, positive, continued, like regular relationship, let's say with my mother, to the point where I would talk with my mother almost daily or frequently, let's say, it was like she always gave me shit about that, and it was always like she was deep down like upset that this other woman in my life, like i.e. my mother, I was like spending time talking to, and spending like mental emotional resources on another woman that wasn't her, that wasn't my girlfriend at the time, that wasn't this twisted person in my life. And it was this very strange, like adversarial thing that started to develop. It was extremely unhealthy. It was crazy, but it was a thing, and it was something that she always thought fitting to bring up, and she always voiced her opinion, and she always like talked about it, and it was like it was a very twisted, manipulative way, the manner in which she went about it, where she would just always give me shit about, like, oh, like, you're a mama's boy, and you're, like, you should be a man, and you don't need to talk to your mother that much, and like you don't need to like this and that and blah blah blah. And like, God, looking back at it now, I'm like, what the fuck was that all about? That was fucking horseshit. That was just the most absurd, asinine, ridiculous thing that anybody could ever say to another human being. But that was the reality. That was an element of the relationship that I dealt with. But I look back on that now, and I think about, I quite honestly cringe about how I could, I allowed myself to stay in that situation for way longer than I should have, needless to say. But just this like twisted fact, and you're gonna come across people in the course of your life, and that's kind of the essence of the talk today. And it doesn't always have to be a girlfriend like this. It could be a friend of yours. It could be another family member. It could be a boyfriend if you're a girl listening, or it could be like any number of people in your life, that those folks in your life that try to drive a wedge between you and your family, your biological blood relatives, these people in your life that are probably like some of the most important things you were ever going to have on this earth. Those things and those people that drive a wedge through that have no place in your life, and there should be absolutely no tolerance for that. And I know it's like easy to look at this situation and to contemplate that, and to probably agree with what I'm saying here. But like, when you're in the thick of it, if you're in a relationship like this right now, or you've ever been around a person like this, it is twisted as fuck, and it's horrible, and it's terrible. But I'm just I'm just trying to ring a little bit of a bell today. If somebody out there listening is dealing with something like this, just to call your attention to it, and like to snap you back to reality, and just to remind you that, of course, this is not right. There's no way, shape, or form this could be justified and rationalized as okay, an okay dynamic or an okay element of any relationship that you're going to go through in your life. And just to remind you that those bonds that you share with somebody like your mother, or like your family members, or whoever these people are in your life that are that important to you, Don't let anybody come between that. I don't care who this other person is in your life, a girl that you're in a relationship, maybe a guy that you're in a relationship with. Like those family bonds are sacred. Those family bonds are actually eternal, I believe. And those family bonds go on way long after this life that we have on the earth here. And that's just an illustration and a reiteration or a reminder of how important those things are and those bonds are with those people. So don't allow these evil, toxic people to erode that sort of bond and to drive a wedge through it and to try to make you feel bad. Once again, in my case, this girl was trying to make me feel bad for the relationship that I had with my mother. Oh, you're such a mama's boy. Oh, you're too tight with your mother. Bull fucking shit. Unfucking believable that happened. Unfucking believable that I dealt with that for that long. But yeah, I went through that. That was a learning lesson. That was crazy and shitty and horrible. I'll never surround myself with a woman like that ever again. But it really it's still to this day, and this has been years since that relationship has ended, but it still just bothers me. And more of the part of it that bothers me is the fact that I stood by and dealt with that for as long as I did. Okay, so like I said, guys, maybe a wake-up call for you today. If you're going through something like that, don't stand for that. That's ridiculous. Okay. All right, guys. A little deeper, a little more personal. Hope that makes sense, though. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And don't ever, ever let anybody come between you and your mother or your father or your family. Okay? All right, guys. Talk to you later.